Hi, welcome to 100 Page. I am Scott. This would be a weekly wrap up, which I haven't done for a while, except it's kind of more of a belated what am I going to read this year update. So let's go and get started. I don't usually plan what I'm going to read throughout the year, but this year I have plenty of books that I am going to try to read. A lot of those are books that I either was planning on reading last year or started to read last year and just haven't finished. So, while I will read a bunch of books this year that I will not be talking about today, let's talk about things that I know I will read and hope that I will finish. Let's start with P.G. Wodehouse. I am still doing my 5-year battle P.G. Wodehouse series. I haven't updated that in a long time because it requires me to finish books that I haven't read yet. As some of you may know, I also do a P.G. Wodehouse podcast with my daughter, so I have to read at least one P.G. Wodehouse book a month to keep up with that, as well as the other books that I need to read, want to read, and end up reading without actually meaning to. So, but I do have lots of P.G. Wodehouse books to finish. Considering he has close to 100 books. But some of them are in here. Spring Fever, The Butler Did It, which is under another name, but I can't remember what it is offhand right now, in The Old Reliable. And I have started The Old Reliable because this is the shortest book in this collection that I haven't finished yet. According to this, I have a little over 100 pages left in that. I'm also reading this, Wodehouse on Wodehouse, which has the books Bring On the Girls, Performing to Flee, and Over 70. These are books that I need to finish to do my 5-year battle at P.G. Wodehouse. The problem with these books is all three of these are nonfiction. Wodehouse nonfiction is much more difficult to read than Wodehouse fiction. So I am 132 pages into Bring On the Girls, and I have about 100 more pages left in that. Do Butlers Burgle Banks. I'm almost halfway through this. Honestly, this is, except for another book that I will talk about in a moment, this is the Wodehouse book I'm trying to finish the soonest because this is the only book left on one of my 5 years, so I can actually do a video for that 5-year battle. So that may not be the next book I finish, but it hopefully will be at least the second book I finish. Sunset at Blandings. This is his final book. It is unfinished. He's got about like a little bit over 100 pages that are finished, and then notes and stuff on the rest of it. I've started this. It looks interesting, but I have to prepare myself for the fact that I'll get into it, which I already have a little bit. I've just finished the first chapter, and then no, I won't finish it because it's not finished. The Luckstone. I know I have my bookmark in here, but I haven't really got anywhere in here yet. Ice in the Bedroom. I actually got about halfway through this book last year, and then I just didn't finish it. So now I'm starting it again because I decided all the books except for the nonfiction ones, because we're not going to talk about those in our podcast. I'm going to go ahead and do synopses of them as I read them so that I don't necessarily have to read them again unless I want to when it's time to do them for the podcast. Bachelor's Anonymous. This is one of his later books. I believe it was published in 1971 or 72. Does have some characters that we've seen before, but I think they're mainly secondary characters. And The Girl in Blue, which I have read already, but this is the next book that we're going to be talking about in our podcast. And I'm about a quarter of the way through it right now. A couple other books I'm done with the P.G. Wodehouse books. The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey. Honestly, this is one that I picked up because somebody on YouTube said they liked it, and I was like, okay, I'll try it. I'm 32 pages into it, and it's like a 400-page book. I didn't find it particularly interesting, but again, I'm only 32 pages into it. We will see. Also, the same person suggested Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I'm like 28 pages into it. It's been a while since I've opened it. If I read it, I'll probably have to start again because I sort of remember what it was about, but it's been months since I've looked at it. Doonesbury 40, a Doonesbury retrospective. I got this for Christmas in 2023. I have been reading it off and on since the beginning of 2024. I'm on page 316. There's almost 700 pages. Honestly, the biggest problem with this is it's very heavy, so I gotta bend over and pick it up to read it. It's very big. So probably more for inconvenience than anything that I haven't finished this book. I have read many Doonesbury books in comic strips over the year. I don't get a newspaper anymore, so I don't really see much of it now, and I think it's only on Sundays now, or at least only new ones are on Sundays. So I have read a lot of these before, but I've always enjoyed Doonesbury. Confessions by Kane Minato. I haven't really started this one yet. This one, along with Battle Royal by Hushin Takami, apologies if I've mispronounced that, as well as Summer Fireworks in My Corpse, and I have it on Kindle, so I don't remember the name of the author. I'll put up a book cover here. Much like a year or so ago, I did basically like body horror, category of fiction that I haven't really gotten into before. I've decided to do Japanese horror this year, so I've picked these 3 books. I don't know if they're the best representations of the genre. I mostly have finished Summer Fireworks and My Corpse. I finished the main, I guess I would say probably novella, but there's also a short story with it that I've just started. But once I finish all 3 books, I will do a separate video about the genre. Much like last year, I am attempting to finish 2 James Joyce books. I did not finish them last year. One of them is Ulysses, which is a much easier read than the other, although I still have some supplemental books for this. Notes for Joyce, annotation of James Joyce Ulysses, and the guide to James Joyce Ulysses that I'm kind of looking at along with this book. So to finish this book, I will finish 3 books. This is easier to read, although, it's supposed to be kind of a retelling of the Odyssey, from what I know. I've only gotten into it just barely. It has Stephen Daedalus, the main character from Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, in it. So that will be interesting. I will also be attempting to read Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. I started this again after I didn't get too far last year. I'm on page 18. It's over 600 pages. It's very difficult to read. Can very well see me finishing this and not fully understanding it, but just to help, I have Annotations to Finnegan's Wake and A Skeleton's Key to Finnegan's Wake by Joseph Campbell and Henry Morton Robinson. I read a lot of books last year, and I kind of got into, with no insult intended, kind of into easier reading, or was reading a bunch of romances because I had more difficult books that I kind of wanted to offset with easier reading. And then I just ended up reading that easier reading so much. This year, I do believe I will be reading fewer books, but I do still find myself like, well, it's certainly easier to read this romance than it is to read Finnegan's Wake. But I am looking to finish this. I also have Rusty Brown, I forget the author's name, which is basically a comic. I don't know how they don't number the pages, but I'm probably a fourth of the way through it. It's interesting. This is another YouTube recommendation. I don't know that I will enjoy it by the end of the book, but at least it is keeping me interested. I also have, that I got on a whim last year, The Watchmen. I've never seen series, movie, anything like that, so I don't really know a lot about it, but obviously that it's pretty acclaimed. So this is something that probably like Doonesbury and Rusty Brown that I will read off and on throughout the year, and I just have to keep doing it. Another thing that I've been reading for quite a while is Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. I read The Nickel Boys, I believe, at the end of 2023 or so. I gave that one a 5-star. Really loved that book. This one, I'm like almost 2/3 of the way through it. It's just not pulling me in the same way the Nickel Boys did. Won the Pulitzer Prize. I think it may be just one of the things, it's just not connecting with me the same way that the Nickel Boys did. I still think it's interesting, but there's just something about it that's not compelling to me. But definitely going to finish this year. I hope to finish it within the next month or so, but who knows. Becky Lynch, The Man. It's a wrestling autobiography. It's just something I've read off and on for a while. I got it, I think, last March. And then I just got involved with other books. Instead of reading something on my Kindle, I really should read these physical books. But reading on the Kindle is just so much easier. But again, something I do look forward to completing. Also, I may have mentioned this before. I don't know if I did or not. My daughter for Christmas got me a trip to Bangor, Maine, which is where the fictional town of Derry, Maine, in Stephen King's, a lot of his works, is located. So something that I am doing this year, even though I read all of Stephen King's works chronologically a few years back, I think in 2022, I'm reading a few of them. I am reading It, which is set in Derry, Maine. Because I've read this book many, many times, I'm just reading it here or there because it's not like I'm going to forget the plot. So I do hope to finish it, obviously, by the time we go on this trip. I'm also reading Insomnia, which is also set in Derry. There are other books set in Derry or have events in Derry, but these are the two big ones to me. I'm like a fifth of the way through this one right now. It's another one, I know it very well, so I could just pick it up whenever. I'm also going to be reading The Dead Zone. When we are in Maine, it's going to be me, Robin, and a friend of hers. There's going to be a lot of driving, so we decided to listen to a Stephen King book that had to be like under a certain time so that we could finish it while we were there, and also something that Robin would be okay with reading. Like, even if it was shorter, there's no way I could get Robin to listen to it. Cause it traumatized her when she was a kid, cause I let her watch part of the miniseries, and she's always been scared of clowns. Trauma dad. So we'll be listening to The Dead Zone, which I think is a pretty good book. I actually think Robin will like it. So, I am also, and this is something I'm listening to on audiobook, is In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust, I think. I'm going to finish volume 2 of this later this week. It's over 4,000 pages long. And I have to tell you, based on the first 2 books, Swan's Way, and I can't remember the name of the second one, but it's the one I'm listening to now. A lot of it is filler that this book could have easily, based on my almost 2/7 of the way through it, could have been half its size, because there's a lot of just rambling. But I am working on that. I hope to finish it by the end of the year. At the rate I'm going, by before fall, maybe. It just depends. I could see me needing to take a break from it. I am also reading the Bible. I do that every few years. I did it last year, but then I got behind, and then I just DNF'd it. But I am reading it this year. I'm also reading it with, and I'm probably mispronouncing this, the Apocrypha, which is books that either had been part of the Bible at some point, some people still include it in their Bible, or have been removed from the Bible. There are a lot of books. The one I got is like 54 books. The Bible that we have it here in America, I guess non-Catholic versions at least, is 66 books. So I'm reading it on an app. I'm also listening to it on audiobook. Like, I drop my kid off, go home, then go to pick my kid up and go home, and like on one of those drives, I listen to the Bible. The other 3 I'm listening to In Search of Lost Time. I also have the Apocrypha book that I've started reading. I'm most of the way through the book of Tobit. And I also have that on Audible also. So once I get through the Bible as I normally know it, I will start listening to that to get it going quicker. And so however I combine that, because like it's gonna be like, I haven't counted. I haven't looked at the page counts for everything, but it's going to be like 6,000 to 7,000 pages. So I've finished the complete New Testament already. I've done parables and proverbs and some of the shorter chapters in the Old Testament, and chronologically, I'm almost done with Numbers. So I'm definitely way ahead of where I was last year when I had to give up because I was behind. I'm like The Bible, just a regular Bible app that I use, does it for 314 days, and it's like on day 45 or so, and I'm like 75 days ahead. So, uh, in addition to that, I have a bunch of sapphic books that I read, my guilty pleasure books, the books that are easy to read. I'm reading those. I also am reading space westerns, much like a genre of Japanese horror. I am reading space westerns. One of them is Santiago by Mike Resnick, which I believe was published in the 80s, possibly early 90s. I have the Lensman Saga by E. Doc Smith. So that's a much older publication. I believe during the golden age of science fiction. I'm not sure. I believe he was publishing like in the 1930s and 40s. The Long Way to Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So those are the three books I am reading for my space western genre read. I feel pretty good about the Mike Resnick book because I remember seeing some Mike Resnick when I was reading science fiction when I was much younger. I have heard, obviously, of E. Doc Smith, even though I haven't read anything of his. I don't know about the Angry Planet one. It's one of those ones where I just took a swing at. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I am reading. Forgot this. There are also, in addition to the 3 Stephen King books that I am going to be reading this year, there are 2 new ones coming out. There's a new Holly Gibney book called Never Flinch, which is coming out, when is it? Oh, in May. I know there are a lot of people who don't enjoy the character of Holly Gibney. I haven't really had a problem with her. I enjoyed the last one, Holly, that came out. I am ready for him to write other stuff because he has spent a lot of time on this one character. But and there is also, and this I just found out today, I don't know, I don't even think, oh, Hansel and Gretel. He is basically reimagining it, and also has, I believe it's artwork by Morris Sendak. I'm forgetting the name of the book he's well known for, but it's like, it has to do with creatures. But they are retelling Hansel and Gretel. Oh, Where the Wild Things Are. So yeah, Maurice Sendak is doing the artwork and Stephen King is writing it. I imagine it's going to be a shorter book, but it will be interesting to see. It will actually be his second children's book. Charlie the Choo Choo was his first, although that was written under the name, I believe, Beryl Evans, the author that was mentioned in the Dark Towers series. So I will be reading at least 5 Stephen King books this year. I have lots of other books that are on my to be read list because I actually went through all my Audible and Kindle credits and added them basically to my Storygraph. I have over, in addition to my physical books that I have about 600 books to be read. So even if I stop getting new books, I have plenty of books to read, but that's not going to stop me from getting new books. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll talk to you next time.